Hey, we're up here at Dryer Honda South. Steve, I know you have a bike here that you want us to ride. This is a little different. Can you tell me in a nutshell what's different about this bike?
This bike is pretty unique. It's a CTX 700. It's the DCT model, dual clutch transmission. Essentially, it's an automatic. It's a 6-speed automatic. So it's probably a little bit different than anything you've ridden. There's no clutch lever, as you see, or no shift lever. It's fun though, and it's easy. I think you'll like it. People have a resistance to it because it doesn't shift normally, but it actually is. It's like F1 race car technology. It isn't slow. It's not a poor performer. It's pretty cool. So I think you'll like it. It also has analog brakes, which is neat. So
good.
Yeah, ride it and see what you think. I'd like to hear what you say.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, now I press the D. I'm in gear, and I just go. That's pretty wild. And it goes. Very strange sensation. Keep wanting to reach for the clutch, not one there. But you can actually feel it change gears and hear it change gears. You can lean it pretty good. Tell you what, an automatic would be pretty handy when you're stuck in traffic. It's just such a strange sensation. It's a great bike. I don't care if you're a guy or a girl, this is a good bike. Especially if you're not comfortable with changing gears. Very relaxing, comfortable bike to ride.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I think. Where's the pegs? You know, I gotta say, this bike is really comfortable. I didn't think it would be, but it is. The handle's really good. Needs a little more windshield for me. You know, the shifting is so different in it, but I kind of like it because you don't have to think about what gear you're in. It just... Oh my gosh, I love this bike. Oh no, I'm serious. I really did like it.
Well, it's a little different. Cindy and I both had a chance to ride this bike. Cindy, let me start with you. What did you think about this bike?
I loved it. I didn't think I would. When I first got on it and took off, it was like, I don't know. But just riding it, I didn't have to think. I didn't have to worry about changing gears, which was, I mean, kind of nice for me. I didn't think I'd like it. I love the way it rode. The seat is awesome. My butt didn't hurt at all. It's a big seat. The height, it's a little tall for me, but it's not too tall. I would definitely have to have a bigger windshield because you know how I love my windshields.
What about the brakes?
I like the brakes. Mm-hmm. They were nice, especially when I don't have very many in my car. So to get on this, it was like, yeah, I like having brakes because they do have the anti-lock brake. I liked it.
I like the bike. Now, just like you were saying, it's a little tall for you. It's obviously a little short for me. But that being said, I was surprised that I could still be comfortable on it. I was a little surprised that, you know, we take a little jaunt there on the interstate. I was running 80 miles an hour without any problem. I think what I like about it, even though it's an automatic, it's you still hear it changing gears. You feel it changing gears. So it's not quite that weird sensation of like a big rubber band where you just, you know, it just kind of, you feel it, it takes off. It's
got plenty of power.
I myself said it would be a perfect bike, especially whether you've rode all your life or you're a new rider, for older. As you get older, maybe, you know, you don't quite have the coordination or the strength. and you may want to downsize on a bike if you're riding a big Goldwing or you're riding a big Harley, you know, dresser or whatever. And maybe it's just getting too much. This to me is a perfect, because I know a lot of people that say, well, I'm gonna go to a 3-wheeler or a trike or something like that because they're just too big. To me, this is a perfect bike for someone like that. And again, there's no clutch, there's no shifting gears. It does all that for you. You feel it as you let off the throttle, you feel it downshift on its own. I thought it was really good. I was very impressed with it.
It is a perfect bike for anybody who doesn't want to have to think about changing those gears, because that's what I think a lot of people think about. You got to learn how to do all that, and to not have to do that, I think that means a lot.
And how long have you been riding?
For 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like you're an inexperienced rider.
Right.
You're an experienced rider, and yet you have no issue whatsoever hopping on something like this.
Not at all. It felt like a motorcycle, definitely. Like he said, you hear the changing of the gears, you feel it, it's all a motorcycle should be without having to think.
But that is a valid point. It's you think scooter in your head, but then you get on it, it's like, no, this is all motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a scooter. It's all
a
motorcycle. Well, Steve, first of all, Cindy and I have never been able to do this, where we both ride the same bike.
Cool.
And obviously there's a little bit of a contrast between our sides, so I think this is a great thing. I was very pleasantly surprised about this motorcycle. It certainly wasn't the scooter. It was a real motorcycle,
right.
and I wasn't expecting that.
Okay.
Can you give me a little bit of the specs on this bike?
It's a 700cc twin-cylinder engine. It actually has a 6-speed transmission, and Honda calls it a dual clutch transmission, but essentially it's automatic. So it shifts through 6 gears up and down as it needs, based on your input, you know, with the throttle and load and things like that. So it's actually a very high-tech engine. It's not a scooter. It has performance. This bike also has anti-lock brakes with this transmission system. As you see, there's no clutch lever, or no gear shift lever. You have an emergency brake, more like you would on a car or something, so that, you know, when you go up, park it, you can lock it so it doesn't roll. But actually, very neat motorcycle. Everybody that rides them likes them. There's a little bit of a, people compare it to a scooter. It's not a motorcycle, and there's a little bit of a, you know, conflict that people have when somebody wants one, like, you ought to be able to shift gears. Well, it's as you guys know now, it's different, but it is a motorcycle, and it's got nice performance.
I think with the automatic, as far as the fact that you still hear it change gears, you still feel it change gears. But I know for me, I made the comment, actually Cindy was saying the same thing, it's very relaxing. And you wouldn't think, as long as we've been riding and everything else, that using a clutch and changing gears, you kind of do it without thinking, but yet when you get on one you don't have to do all that with, it's like, wow, this is really relaxing. I mean, you can actually just kind of look around, and it's just a much more relaxing. And you know, for my size, it still fit me okay. I could still sit in it. It was comfortable. The seat's big enough. You know, I didn't feel like I was all bottomed out and scraping the ground or anything like that.
Right.
What about you?
No, I thought it was a great bike. I absolutely loved it. I told him I took a detour, and I ended up doing a 90-degree turn. It turns on a dime. I mean, it's amazing. It's really a great bike. I love it. You
can get different seats, backrest, taller windshields. There's lots of accessories available as well to, you know, sort of like a cruiser style bike, like the V-twins and whatever. But you know, you can do a lot with them. So they're pretty cool. It's just they have the same version here with a 6-speed manual transmission, so they look identical. But this one's pretty unique, and you're going to see more and more of these vehicles as time goes on, as becomes a little more accepted, you know, by the mainstream.
I think they should be accepted.
Well, you know, and it's funny because, you know, you have those that, you know, they go to Sturgis, you know, well, if you trailer out there, you're not a real biker.
Right,
I rode mine, and I got to tell you, I was one of those guys.
Right.
If I'm not riding it, I am not trailing. There's no way I'm putting my bike on a trailer. At my age now, and with my time schedule now, I have no problem throwing my bike on a trailer and getting somewhere where I can go spend, you know, 3 or 4 days riding, and then be able to do a power drive all the way home in a truck.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah.
And now I feel the same way, you know, with the motorcycle, you know, whether it's automatic or you know, whether it's manual, whatever. I mean, it's a motorcycle, man. And that was a lot of fun to ride.